You're watching Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. We apologize for starting the news a bit late. However, we are here with the news. The headlines: Zambia's 7th Republican President, HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, to restore the rule of law. The movement for multi-party democracy to keep the UPND leadership in check. An economist attributes KWACHA appreciation to panic buying. In international news, Tunisia's president SAIED extends suspension of parliament. And in sports news, sports fans predict low performance for CHIPOLOPOLO in the coming games. Let's take a breather. Join me shortly for the details.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 KWACHA per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 KWACHA per person.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN 096 296 5883. For Airtel 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
Once again, thank you for choosing us. The news in detail. Acting Chief Justice Michael Musonda has sworn in Zambia's 7th Republican President, HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, at a careful ceremony held in Lusaka at Heroes Stadium. And speaking shortly after being sworn in, President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA says his administration will promote unity in diversity and ensure respect for the fundamental human rights and freedoms for all. The president says his government will restore the rule of law and bring order in all public places and communities, as well as return the country back to normalcy. The head of state has also assured the Zambian people that the economy will grow at a steady pace to ensure the fight against poverty is won. Details in this report.
After failing 5 times to ascend to the highest political office of the land, Zambia's Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA has finally been sworn in as the country's 7th Republican President, together with his running mate Madam Mutalena Lumango, at a colorful ceremony held in Lusaka, attended by over 50,000 people. Accompanied by his wife Mutinta HICHILEMA, the joy of the many who came to witness the event could be felt whenever the president was shown on any platform. And speaking shortly after being sworn in by Acting Chief Justice Michael Musonda, President HICHILEMA has promised to restore the rule of law, general order in public places and communities, and return the country back to normalcy.
We will promote unity in diversity and ensure respect for fundamental human rights, liberties, and indeed freedoms for all our people. We will restore the rule of law, general order in our public places and communities, and return our country back to normalcy. Read my lips, no capitalism from any political party. We will live up to our campaign promises by ensuring that all citizens are equal before the law. All citizens are equal before the law, without exception. Absolutely none anything close to animal farm.
The head of state has also assured jobless youths that a new dawn has come where youths will be skilled and find opportunities to work or do business in an economy that his government will revive.
This victory is not mine, but for all the citizens of our great country, especially the youth who turned out to vote in great numbers with great energy. I shall repeat that. This victory is not mine, but it is for all you, the citizens of our great country, especially the youth of Zambia, who turned out to vote in great numbers with great energy and passion and made this day possible. To the jobless youth, a new dawn is here, where you will be skilled and you will find opportunity to work or do business in an economy that will be revived vigorously very soon ahead of us. Barry and the team will fix our economy, but we will do more than just fixing the economy.
And the president has paid special attention to lowering the fiscal deficit, reducing public debt, and restoring social and market confidence.
We shall have zero tolerance to corruption. Shall I repeat that? We shall have zero tolerance to corruption. This will be our hallmark. The fight against corruption will be professional. It will not be vindictive. We will not be going out there for retribution or vengeance. That is not for us.
The president also took time to highlight some of the key priority areas his administration will pay attention to.
Some of our key priority sectors that will drive economic growth and reduce poverty are agriculture, mining, energy, financial services, tourism, technology, health and education. In agriculture, we will work to enhance production, agricultural extension services, market access, value addition, and lowering the cost of inputs, the cost of production, that area very well. We shall promote expansion on the mining value chain as well as the promotion of mineral diversification. We will therefore encourage the production and processing of gemstones, gold, nickel, manganese, iron and industrial and other minerals. We will put in place measures to facilitate local ownership. You have heard me. You have heard me. We will put in place measures to facilitate local ownership and increase participation of Zambians in this important sector.
President Hichilema also took time to thank the opposition political parties that took part in the election, the church and traditional leaders for the role they play in the Zambian economy. He has also invited all political parties to work with his government within the remits of a democratic society. And President Hichilema thanked the former head of state, Mr. Edgar Lungu, for his service to the nation and facilitating a smooth transition. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Still on the inauguration, heads of state from other African countries have described Zambia as a shining example of true democracy. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony of Zambia's 7th Republican President, HAKAINDE Hichilema, Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera, who is also SADC chairperson, says Zambia remains an example to other African countries on how democracy is upheld. And former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo says it is possible to have a smooth transition of leadership without necessarily having to shed blood, and Zambia has done that once again. Prudence Chota has this report.
10 heads of state from different African countries were among the over 50,000 people who came to witness the inauguration ceremony of Zambia's 7th Republican President HAKAINDE Hichilema. Among those in attendance were heads of state from Kenya, Namibia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, Democratic Republic of Congo, Malawi, United Republic of Tanzania, and the Kingdom of Eswatini. And speaking when he represented other African heads of state, Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera says Zambia has demonstrated the true meaning of democracy through the smooth transition of power.
What a day to be standing shoulder to shoulder with the Zambian people who have distinguished themselves as a bastion of democracy and a beacon of constitutionalism. Make no mistake, what we are witnessing today is more than an inauguration. What we are witnessing today here is no mere ceremony or ritual. Rather, it is history.
And former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo says it is possible for African countries to have a smooth transition of power without having to shed blood, and that Zambia has demonstrated this.
I bring you our congratulations, and we are here to felicitate with you as leaders of this great country for the example you have shown to the rest of Africa and indeed the rest of the world that do things.
Your strong commitment to democracy is a clear manifestation of your participation in the liberalization and development of Southern Africa. This has been the case for many decades, and in the face of historical challenges, such as the struggle against apartheid and colonization. This can only confirm your commendable contribution to the common goal of regional integration through, in particular, the achievement of the African Union's Agenda 2063.
The overwhelming representation of different heads of state is proof of the confidence other African countries have in Zambia and its respect for the rule of law. Work for the President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA has officially begun, and the Zambian people are so expectant to see change. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
And Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland says Zambia has shown a true place in the world as a beacon of peace through the smooth transition of power once again. At Zambia's 7th inaugural ceremony for the President, Scotland says today's inauguration is a great day for those that love the rule of law.
For many, 24th August 2021 will be remembered as a great day. Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland, who was among the delegates that attended the inauguration ceremony for the country's 7th Republican President, Mr. HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, described the 24th August 2021 as a great day in the country's history and Africa at large. She says the Zambian 2021 general election will go down in history as an election with no losers.
It is a great day for peace. It is a great day for Zambians. It is a great day for Africa. It is also a great day for the Commonwealth. And it is a great day for all those who love peace, good governance, and the rule of law, which is embedded in our concept of what makes a true democracy. It is a great day for every member of our family of nations who has thirsted for peace, despaired of peace, hoped for peace.
She has further thanked former President Edgar Lungu for demonstrating true leadership in the smooth transition of power.
Zambia's 2021 election will go down in history as an election with no losers. There were two winners. President HICHILEMA won the vote, and President Lungu won the hearts of every person who loves democracy and peace by gracefully transferring democratic leadership and extending his brotherly hand to President HICHILEMA.
She has reaffirmed the Commonwealth commitment to continue supporting peaceful political dialogue and promoting cohesion in the country.
Many feared that this day would never come, that a peaceful election in Zambia was no longer possible, that it was an aspiration that could not and would not be fulfilled, feared that there was little upon which it could be based, save unrealistic, and unachievable hope. I am grateful that the Commonwealth has been allowed to be part of Zambia's remarkable journey since independence. It is indeed a high moment for the Commonwealth, for Africa, and the whole of the international community.
Miriam Kemba reporting.
Thousands of people gathered along the road leading to the presidential inauguration venue Heroes Stadium to get a glimpse of the presidential motorcade. People of Lusaka's Mandevo constituency patiently waited, and other areas also waited for the president to pass. The group was not comprised only of United Party for National Development members, but PF members and other members of the general public. Here's a report on this.
Zambians stand up in numbers to witness the inauguration of the 7th Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, a day full of excitement for many and regret for others. But the comfort is that under the new government, it is one Zambia, one nation. Not everyone could make it to Hero Stadium. Some people converged as early as 06 hours to await the arrival of the presidential motorcade along the Great North Road leading to Hero Stadium, the venue for the event of the year. Activists say HAKAINDE HICHILEMA is likely to become a popular president Zambia has never had for choosing to be on the side of the people. He made popular pronouncements which people have been longing for, such as the freedom of expression, association and assembly, as well as curbing the infiltration of political cadres in markets and bus stations and governance structures.
Gone are the days when political cadres would take over the functions of a public service worker in a market, in a bus stop, in a government office and other places. Absolutely never again. Never again. Our administration will not allow such disorder, because you cannot grow the economy, you cannot create jobs, you cannot offer business opportunities in a disorderly manner.
And it is what excited many citizens.
So, what
one only hopes cadarism will not resurface in another way.
Sir, these cadres are bothering me. These cadres. Where's your chief cadre? Get out. Get out.
For Mr. Hichilema, work has begun, and for the media, civil society organizations and opposition political parties, among others, checks and balances are underway. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Opposition New Hope Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD leader Nevas Momba says his party will work with President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA provided he does what he promised the people of Zambia. Speaking shortly after the inauguration ceremony Tuesday afternoon, Dr. Momba says people must give time and chance to the new national administration before change is recorded in various sectors of the economy. Dr. Momba also says his party will not hesitate to raise their voices against the new government once it starts moving away from the manifesto, ensuring that the country is back on its feet.
Let him open Parliament. Once he opens Parliament, then he's going to tell us when these things of free education is going to come. But let me take this opportunity to salute the UPND and President HAKAINDE in this transition. When we lost power as MMD, PF almost killed us. We were running all over the place. Our houses were being burned. Things were getting out of control. We were so scared. that up until now, UPND has not demonstrated that ugliness or viciousness against the Patriotic Front. I can only appeal to our colleagues in the UPND not to do what PF did to MMD. We are all Zambians. There comes a time when your term ends and you have to pay for the sins that you committed. Even now we are celebrating UPND, but there will be a time when the time for UPND will come to an end, and we want a continuity of respect and peace. We have a very constructive way to engage this government. Number one, we shall work with this government as far as they continue to save these issues that help the Zambian people. Things we agree on: order, justice, equity, and all those things. We shall support this government as long as it remains on course. That we will raise our voices when we realize that maybe they're veering away from what they promised the Zambian people, because that's why we exist and that's why we are here.
A Zambian-based historian, Professor Bizek Piri, says Zambia has once again demonstrated a historic peaceful transition of power that sets a great tone for the generations to come. During an exclusive interview with Camnet TV, Professor Piri says the peaceful political environment will have ripple effects to the neighboring countries and ensure conducive economic relations for the southern region of Africa. Professor Piri has commended the former Republican President Edgar Lungu for demonstrating a brave decision and ensure that Zambia enjoys what is known for as a peaceful country. He has further advised the Zambian people to forge ahead with the unity and togetherness they have portrayed throughout the transition process to the time the President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA has been sworn in.
Peaceful transition is indeed a reflection of that significance of being one Zambia, one nation. Zambians voted not according to ethnic backgrounds, but because they just wanted this particular person, HH, to know this is the person now we want to lead us forward. Importantly, as Zambians are also looking out, there will be now President-elect to be inaugurated and taking this one. But what is significant, Zambians are looking at what kind of cabinet is he going to have. One expects that the cabinet that is going to be put in place will be a cabinet that is representative of all the regions of Zambia. So that, when you look at the cabinet here, you can see Northerners there, you can see Southerners there, you can see people from Central Province there. So in other words, a country that, a cabinet that reflects one Zambia, one nation.
A University of Zambia graduate, Charles Masopi, says he is expectant of President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA will deliver by creating employment for the many graduates who have remained unemployed for some time. Mr. Masopa, whose video went viral on social media after he was seen going to cast the vote while dressed in his graduation gown, says he's happy to see President HICHILEMA being sworn in to power. And other youths, Lewin McKenna, says President HICHILEMA has both experience in the professional and business environment, hence expecting him to table the challenges in these sectors.
We are allowed, so we also ended the count. He was even voted in the count. So we also send a signal to say, even as the president gets into State House, he does not forget about us, the youths, and all the graduates around, and the unemployed graduates.
We are so hopeful that our president HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, with the expertise and with the background that he comes with, being a professional, having achieved so much in his professional life and in his business life. So we're so expectant that he's going to tackle, he's got experience from both sides. So it's going to tackle issues from both sides, from the professional aspect of things and also from business side of things.
So that the family is not being a change. Because it's some actors, but they will go on to so upon that the family is changing from life.
Just like the way our current president has put it in his inauguration speech, that we take care of certain things have to change. So we are expecting that even for us as freedom fighters, we should be actually taken into consideration.
Well, indeed, the inauguration ceremony was a hive of activity with a lot of inspiring things from different people. Moving on in the news, Democratic Party has urged the United Party for National Development, UPND, to amend the Public Order Act and not use it to abuse other people, as was in the previous administration. Speaking to Camnet TV in an exclusive interview, DP President HICHILEMA says the Public Order Act should be amended because, according to him, the law in its current form is an oppressive law which government uses to oppress other political parties.
Somebody ascending to office who was one of us in the opposition and who felt the full brunt of the Public Order Act, and therefore we're expecting that President-elect HAKAINDE HICHILEMA will move swiftly in ensuring that the Public Order Act is dealt with so that Zambians can interact with their leaders regardless of the political affiliation, and that the lead of using the police as a face in front of the Public Order Act should come to an end. 57 years after independence, we cannot be using an archaic law such as the Public Order Act to prevent fellow Zambians from interacting. So we are looking forward as Democratic Party to the fact that it will be put in such a way that it will allow us to go out and meet the people.
You're watching Camnet News. We take a break. Join me shortly for more interesting stories.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your ZAMTEL mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with ZAMTEL mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. ZAMTEL, your digital lifestyle partner.
Oracle, the makers of pure petroleum products, congratulate the President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Mr. HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, and Her Honor the Vice President Mrs. Mutale Nalumango for being elected as the 7th President of the Republic of Zambia, and wish that under your guidance and leadership we shall see a new dawn for Zambia, which will bring healing, unity and prosperity to our motherland under our motto, One Zambia, One Nation.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
The deadline for payments will be 28th September 2021. Any late payment made after 28th September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
You're still watching Camnet News. Thank you for staying on. A renowned economist, Chibamba Kanyama, has implored the newly elected United Party for National Development UPND government to come up with policy actions which will ensure that the appreciation of the kwacha is sustained. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Kanyama has attributed the recent appreciation of the kwacha to panic buying and selling of dollars after the change of government, stating that the appreciation is only temporal and will not result in reduced commodity prices. He adds that among the measures to ensure sustainability of the kwacha's appreciation is to arrest inflation levels. Zipporah has the details on this story.
Levels of excitement in the country have gone up as exchange bureaus have been showing appreciation of the kwacha nearly on a daily basis since the election victory of the United Party for National Development UPND last week. An economist, Mr. Chibamba Kanyama, however, says the appreciation is due to panic buying and selling of the dollar after the change of government and will not be sustained unless certain economic actions are taken by the new government. He states that key to ensuring sustainability of the kwacha's appreciation is to come up with conducive economic actions.
What are the key measures that he plans to put in place in terms of policy actions, economic policy actions, in terms of inducing investor confidence, in terms of the external position, which is about stabilizing the debt position that we are in, the issue of arrears, and also measures to arrest the inflation levels, measures to reduce the interest rates, also measures just to do with subsidies. The major trigger we want to see and want to anticipate in his pronouncements is how he hopes to arrest the deficit, bring about physical economic consolidation, and this is what we induce direct investment.
President of the Party for National Unity and Progress, PNUP, Mr. Harvey Hamududu, an economist by profession, has also suggested measures.
I think I've heard people talking about high cost of living, things are expensive. One of the main drivers, one of them, was the exchange rate. So it was pushing up inflation, what we call cost-push inflation. And therefore what we need now is a stronger currency, exchange rate. Of course, that balances between the interest of importers and exporters. At the moment, it's too high. Can it come down? Yes. The kwacha can strengthen. We can have a favorable exchange rate with the right policies. If the new government puts the right policies, it is possible. There are opportunities for that.
Many Zambians remain hopeful that prices of commodities will reduce in the new government, as that was one of their key campaign messages. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A development activist, Dr. Charity Musamba, says the possibilities of attaining the 20% poverty reduction target set by 2030 are still slim, considering the various factors contributing to the stalled progress in the last 8 years. Dr. Musamba has revealed that poverty levels still remain at around 54%, meaning that at least half of Zambia's population live below the poverty line. She has advised the newly elected government to pay particular attention to previous development programs and examine why they did not work and formulate better ways of implementing them to work.
In 2006, Zambia, through a thoroughly compiled document dubbed Vision 2030, aimed at transforming Zambia into a prosperous middle-income nation by 2030 and to create a new Zambia which is a strong and dynamic middle-income industrial nation that provides opportunities for improving the well-being of all. Among the set target is the reduction of poverty levels to as low as 20% of the total Zambian population. Currently, the Zambia poverty level stands at around 54%, implying half of the Zambian people are still considered as poor. Which brings us to a question of how possible is the attaining of the 20% reduction target by 2030. In response to this question, development analyst Dr. Charity Musamba has this to say.
Well, if you look at 2030, we're only remaining with 9 years, and within 9 years, one can simply say we are only remaining with, seriously speaking, 8 working annual development cycles. It is very clear, even from the latest assessments that were undertaken by government in 2019 and 2018 by civil society organizations, that the chances of us meeting our national vision 2030 are very, very slim.
Dr. Musamba has since advised the newly elected government to continue development projects and examine those that failed under the former government.
This government pays serious attention and is committed to decentralize the governance system. It is not possible to develop Zambia, and it is also not possible to pursue democratic governance in Zambia under this highly centralized system, where you've reduced the country's governance apex to Lusaka and in one office called the presidency. If you're a democratic country, you should then decentralize so that you take government closer to the doorstep of the Zambian households, down to the community in the remote areas, so that people become part and parcel of the governance system. They can determine their development needs. They can also have access to decision-making processes in a manner that suits their levels of livelihoods.
Alex Chimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The World Youth and Leadership Foundation has called on the new government to pay close attention to the issues of teen pregnancies and child marriages to steer girl-child education. Organization Director General Nalishe Bonyambe says the more targeted interventions are required to address teen pregnancies in the country, especially in Luapula province. Mr. Nyambe urges the church to play an active role in discouraging the vice. He says the parents and guardians must take a keen interest in seconding their children to access education, which he says is key securing their future.
Following a majority voter turnout by the youths in the just-ended general elections, a number of stakeholders have pressed a demand that particular attention should be given to the youths across the country. A Lusaka-based youth activist, Matthew Moshikiti, has called on the government to strictly scrutinize the current Youth Empowerment Fund.
Yeah, so when you look at it in the youth policy, things are well outlined. But the way youth empowerment programs have been implemented in the past, I think there was more of a political face on it than the real empowerment that should have, captured the youths regardless of their political affiliation, regardless of what. Look, we have graduates who are youths. So if you are talking about youth empowerment, why should you not engage even in higher learning of institutions where these youths with all knowledges, skills are found, and start getting the projects from that point, than going to youths, start forming certain cooperatives. And when you look at most composition of these cooperatives, it leaves much to be desired. I think the youths were not captured in the youth programs as outlined in the youth policy.
Mr. Mshikiti has noted that significant voter turnout by the youths is the direct indication that they desire a government that will incorporate them in decision-making processes.
The center of everything else that is supposed to be done. So the turnout was a clear indication that youths had so much hope that if things were to change, perhaps certain things may be done differently from the previous regime. I think there was a bit of a shift from real youth engagement in governance system, and youths were still made to be, agents for someone's agenda. But this time around, youths wanted to be part and parcel of decision making, and they're taking it upon themselves to determine their future.
One can only hope for the better in as much as the youth empowerment programs are concerned in this new regime. Alex Shumba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A cashew nut farmer has called on government to consider buying cashew seedlings from local farmers, as this will boost their businesses. In an interview with Camnet TV, Brenda Mwanamwali says government should consider empowering female cashew nut farmers through buying cashew grafted seeds.
Cashew is a lasting tree crop originating from South America and now widely grown in the tropics. In the past, cashew was considered as a hardy crop which needed little attention in terms of management of pest control. Current research findings indicate that this is no longer the case and that it is frequently attacked by various pests. A cashew farmer in Mungu district of Western Province, Brenda Mwanamwali, has appealed to government not to sideline female cashew farmers in terms of empowering their businesses.
Musotao ni hupule kakui ni musali ruli yako nao za kuchala masidri ni kule kisa mihaba muso kaba ni koro ya kule kalikota zeku libaweze support ba machembele ni ba micha ni ba nana ba izima maemo nene kai takaiza kulikambe muso no kan talima kuli ukode kutoleka kuna likota kuli likota zaka sinamu libona maneze mkizendi zinzola zisinyela fela.
She explains how difficult it has been to have cashew grafted seedlings but no one to buy them.
And this one is now grafted. Na sepa kona foni fereza misili losaka muso kena ukanu utwa asili losalu na maulozi. Uluna nule niluna kuli bulozi mukone kuzuseza na haya unapili.
Blessings Shakwila, Camnet News, Mungu.
You're still watching Camnet News. We take another set of commercials. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market. Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba, the board and management of Camnet TV, congratulates His Excellency, the President of the Great Republic of Zambia, Mr. HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, and the UPND party on his victory as the 7th President of the Great Republic of Zambia. May God keep and bless Zambia. Camnet TV, not just another channel. The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN 096 296 5883. For Airtel 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. Tunisia's president has extended the suspension of parliament until further notice, nearly a month after taking on emergency powers. Authorities have since placed several officials, including former ministers, under house arrest and prevent politicians and businessmen from traveling. The president's move has raised concern among Tunisians about the future of the democratic system the country adopted after its 2011 revolution. In other news, having had only 20,000 cases and almost 600 deaths from COVID-19, Haiti has largely been spared the pandemic's ravages. Its first batch of vaccines only arrived in July, but few Haitians have expressed interest in getting the jab. Let's look at these stories in detail.
He said it was an exceptional measure, a response to economic and political crises. On July 25, President SAIED sacked Prime Minister Hisham Mashishi, froze parliament and seized judicial power. He insists it was not a coup, but others call it a threat to one of the region's few democracies.
These decisions have no basis in the constitution nor in the law. This is a coup against the constitution, against the 2011 revolution and against liberties.
In 1 month, the president has dismissed and replaced ministers and promised to crack down on corruption. But several MPs have been arrested, with court cases being fast-tracked. Al Jazeera's bureau was shut down without an explanation. And 2 New York Times reporters were detained briefly. SAIED, though, is promising freedom of expression.
Despite the crisis that Tunisia is living, it still operates with freedom of expression and with human rights, built on the Constitution. And if faced with some difficulties in some areas or with some administrations, then these aren't intentional obstacles.
While SAIED has been trying to reassure Tunisia's unions and human rights groups, concerns still remain.
There is an administrative decision called S17 by the Tunisian state. It was used before for so many years, especially with regards to terrorists, preventing suspects of terrorism from leaving the country. This has been expanded to other categories, including MPs, former government members, some businessmen and businesswomen. So how much time this is going to take is an essential issue.
Since the freezing of parliament, there's little appetite to protest. President SAIED's decision appears to be popular, but Tunisians say they're fed up with high unemployment and rising poverty, both made worse by the pandemic. And they blame the main political parties, including the largest, Ennahda, for this. Since the crackdown, the party has softened its rhetoric and acknowledged past mistakes.
It's been difficult for everyone. Let's be honest, even Ennahda is to blame for that. It should have been stronger, stayed away from political infighting and focused instead on economic achievements to meet the demands of Tunisian society.
The Arab Spring changed Tunisia dramatically and put the country on a path away from dictatorship and towards democracy. But there's still a sense of uncertainty as Tunisians wait to see what Kais Said's long-term plans for the country prove to be. Sarah Khairat, Al Jazeera.
Another person in Haiti vaccinated. This time it's Dr. Carl Dumas.
How does it feel to get fully vaccinated? Great. Great.
But he's in the vast minority. Firstly, because vaccines took so long to get here. Haiti's campaign only began in July. And now, because even though they've finally arrived, few seem to want them. The US supplied 500,000 jabs under the COVAX mechanism. Only 20,000 have been applied. Why? In part it's because of this, the empty COVID ward that Dr. Karine shows us in the non-for-profit Geskio hospital.
I suppose at one point you would have thought that this would be full of people, no?
Yes,
full of
it was full. Last year it was full. Now it is very calm. We don't have any admission.
Haiti's health ministry says only around 600 people have died of COVID-19. The infection rate is also far lower than in many other places. Nobody knows exactly why, but since the pandemic isn't taking off, neither is the vaccination campaign.
For them, it's not a disease that really is present in Haiti, and if it's not present, there is no need for them to get vaccinated.
In this market, the streets were full, the faces bare. Many don't believe in COVID or mistrust the vaccines.
I don't wear a mask because I believe in God. I don't believe in what people say. The human being lies all the time. They never speak the truth. That's why I only believe God.
We talked to Duvanu because he was one of only a handful of people we saw covering up. I believe in science, so I believe in my mask, he told us. The limited public health campaign, another reason vaccination has stalled, would have done little to convince others.
This is one of the few posters to do with COVID that we've been able to find here in the capital, Port-au-Prince. And what medical experts say to us is that a golden window of opportunity could be being missed because people now could be being vaccinated before more deadly strains of COVID possibly take hold here in the country.
The government has other things on its mind. Not least a recently assassinated president, followed up by a major earthquake in the country's southwest. The latter could yet turn into a super spreader, with hospitals full and a multitude of foreign organisations flying in to help. Or COVID may, for whatever reason, continue to swerve around this Caribbean nation. If so, it would be the first piece of good fortune Haiti's had in a long time. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Port-au-Prince.
We now look at sports news. A football fan spoken to by Camnet TV says he expects a low performance from the CHIPOLOPOLO boys because they have not performed according to people's expectations in the last few games. In an interview, Joseph Sakala says he has not kept his hopes high when it comes to the national team's performance in the forthcoming match against Mauritania on September 3rd.
With the CHIPOLOPOLO boys having started preparations ahead of the September 3rd Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Mauritania, a football fan says he's not hopeful that Zambia will qualify for the World Cup because of the number of times the national team has performed badly in other competitions. Joseph Sakala explained to this reporter in an interview that it is quite disappointing to watch the CHIPOLOPOLO because they never meet the fans' expectations.
but my advisors ba national team uzada banthawe zinango kapera ndiye bamene batandisa kuchachani panga line funika tampasa chance coach ngatabwera ashtabanja coaching apuno kulino.
Sakala has since called on the Football Association of Zambia to consider changing the technical bench.
Expect ni kuwina kuti mbere chifukwa ngati taluza sitika mbere bwino ngati luza ishi nango ziko yathu sienda pasogolo kuti ziko yathu ende pasogolo tifika tiwina kuti chitukuko chizikwera muno mwathu ndrama zako tikapnaifita chitabwanji tatengako na ife ngati tatengako ma players ziko yatengako, which means development muliza ndrama ingachipite pasogoro.
Zambia will be away to Mauritania on September 3rd before hosting Tunisia 4 days later at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Dola. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, that's where we wrapped up for news this evening. The headlines once again. Zambia's 7th Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA to restore the rule of law. The movement for multi-party democracy to keep the UPND leadership in check. An economist attributes KWACHA appreciation to panic buying. In international news, Tunisia's president extends suspension of parliament. And in sports news, sports fan predicts low performance for CHIPOLOPOLO boys in the coming games. We look at the Camnet verse of the day, and it's coming from Romans 1 verse 16, and it reads, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is God's power for salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew and also to the Greek." Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Good night.